Today we are going to be making a scented body mist. You would be delighted to see how easy it is to make your own body mist with few ingredients and no complicated equipment needed. Hello and welcome back to Radiant by J Naturals. Here we make DIY home skin and hair care products. If these are the types of videos you would be interested in, do well to subscribe so that you would see whenever I post such videos. And also, if you think this video is going to be so exciting, why don't you give me a thumbs up before we get right into it? So this is our scented body mist, and it is a very beautiful scent. I must say to you that the way it scents depends on the fragrance you use. So the most special ingredient in this product is the kind of fragrance oil you use. Ensure you use a very quality and very beautiful fragrance to get the scent of your choice. So I'm just trying it out and you can see how moisturizing it is. This is a body mist that you can spray directly on your body and it will leave you feeling and smelling all fresh all day long. Now let's get right into the video. Remember that you need to check the description box because I'm going to be putting all the ingredients and amounts there. The first ingredient we are using is Polysorbate 80. Polysorbate 80 is a solubilizer and it helps to blend oils into water. You know that our body mist is mostly water, but the star ingredient is a beautiful fragrance oil. Now, if you add your fragrance oil directly into water, it will just float on it. So you need something to mix it in very well. And that's why we're using Polysorbate 80. There are other polysorbates like Polysorbate 20. However, I prefer to use Polysorbate 80 because I feel it gives a clearer result. Using Polysorbate 20 may give you a cloudy product, but not all the time. However, if you just want to be sure, it's better you go for Polysorbate 80. The next ingredient we are using is a fragrance oil. Now, we are going to be using any fragrance oil of your choice. The fragrance oil I'm using here today is called Bouquet, and it is a very nice scent. You can use any one that you like. However, please make sure you are using a high quality fragrance oil because there are some fragrance oils that will just spoil your mixture and will not smell so nice. And then make sure you are using a fragrance oil that is actually good for your skin, that will not make your skin to become sensitized. So my scale went off at that point, but I already noted how much of the fragrance oil I had added, so I just continued from where I stopped. So after measuring your fragrance oil into your Polysorbate 80, all you need to do next is to stir. We're going to give the mixture a very good mix to ensure that the fragrance oil is incorporated well into the Polysorbate 80. You can see that if this was water and oil, it will not give us this homogeneous mixture. The oil will just be on one side and the water will be on one side. But because we are using a solubilizer, we are getting an even mixture. And another reason why you should use a solubilizer is so that you don't get too much of the fragrance oil on your skin, which would lead to your skin becoming sensitized. The next thing we're adding to our mixture is some Propanediol. Propanediol is a humectant, just like glycerin. I prefer to use Propanediol in this kind of formula because it is lightweight. Sometimes I use both Propanediol and glycerin. Sometimes I use just Propanediol. However, mostly I use Propanediol in products that are going to go directly on my skin and stay there for a long while, like facial products, face creams, body mist, where I don't want the heaviness of glycerin. So Propanediol is a very good option. However, note that you can use just glycerin. The only thing is you should keep it under 5%. Using a lot more than that could make the product to become draggy or to become like heavier on your skin, since it is not a rinse out product. In addition to the Propanediol, I'm using some glycerin. Like I said, sometimes I use them together. However, I'm using very little glycerin, so it is a very little amount. I used more of the Propanediol than glycerin because I like the way it feels on my skin better. The next thing we are going to add, which is like a the ingredient that helps to carry the fragrance. It helps to disperse the fragrance finely, and when you spray it, it helps to carry the fragrance and make it last longer on your skin. We're going to be using some ethanol. Some people erroneously believe that ethanol is very harsh. Well, ethanol is not very harsh. It's not as harsh as isopropyl alcohol, and that is why I prefer to use it in my products than isopropyl alcohol. It is quite skin friendly and you get a very good use out of it. I just don't recommend you using it alone. It should be incorporated into a product. If you try using it, it's very good. And another reason why we're using ethanol in this product is to enable it to be transparent. If I just use water, it's possible for you to make this product without ethanol, but just know that you will not get the same results because it may turn out cloudy. So if the transparency of the product is very important to you, please use ethanol. And then the next ingredient we are going to be adding is some isopropyl myristate. Isopropyl myristate is an ester. It is a very lightweight oil-like substance. It helps to it's an occlusive ingredient. It helps to trap in moisture on your skin. So in essence, what it does is to make sure that your skin doesn't become dry. Remember, we're using alcohol, and this is mostly a water-based ingredient. So it also helps for the fragrance to last longer on your skin. So using isopropyl myristate locks the fragrance more on your skin than when you don't use it. If you use just alcohol and water-based ingredients, the products may disappear. The scent may disappear easier. Like after a few minutes, you will not perceive the scent anymore. So that is it for our isopropyl myristate. And next thing we're adding is our liquid Germall Plus, which is our preservative, because we don't use as much of the alcohol in this product. If you watch the video where I made hand sanitizer, I didn't have to use any preservative because it had over 80% alcohol, right? But at this point in time, I need to use a preservative because there is not enough alcohol in this to preserve it. I think some people may not even add any preservative to this. So this liquid Germall Plus has turned our mixture a little bit cloudy and all that. I think is reacting with the alcohol, but not to worry. We're going to add one other ingredients at the end that is going to help us to dispel that cloudiness. Now, the next thing we're adding is our distilled water. Our distilled water is, of course, our solvent. It helps to carry all the other ingredients and helps them to be mixed together appropriately. So this is how my product has turned out to be, but don't worry. Like I said, there is one ingredient that is going to clear it up easily. Though, even if you don't add any ingredient to it, if you keep this mixture for about 2-3 days, it will clear up, so long as you used enough Polysorbate 80. If you didn't use enough Polysorbate 80, then you may not get that clear result. But if you used enough Polysorbate 80, you are going to get a clear product. However, I'm going to be adding PEG 7 Glyceryl Cocoate to this product. So the PEG 7 is acting as also a co-solubilizer. It helps to keep the product together and it helps to keep it from separating. It also helps it's also it's also a nourishing ingredient. It helps to give a good skin feel on for the product. So when you apply it on your skin, it helps it to feel like those silky and expensive products. So PEG 7 is optional in this product. You can use it if you want. If you don't want, you can leave it out. Did you see what just happened? I nearly lost the whole batch. I would have cried. So you can see that it just cleared up the mixture immediately. Everything just returned to status quo. This smells so amazing at this point. So all you need to do is to stir very well to incorporate, and then it is ready for you to package. However, I decided to add a little bit of coloring just to give it that unique look. I didn't just want to leave it clear. You can decide to leave it clear. You can decide to add coloring. It is completely up to you at this point in time. So I added a very little yellow color just for aesthetics. Like I said before, you can leave it out. And now I tested the pH of the products because I'm going to be using it on my skin. So the pH was around maybe 8. I didn't like that, so I added some lactic acid to adjust the pH. You can adjust the pH with lactic acid. You can use citric acid, whatever acid you have on hand. So I wanted the pH to be around 5. I didn't want it to be above 6 anyway. So this was it. I had to adjust again, and then by the time I took the pH the next time, it was very okay for me. You can see that the pH this time around is around 5 or so. Let's say 5 to 6 or so. So it is very excellent. It is a good pH and you are going to enjoy this product on your skin. So if you have watched to this point, I want to say a great big thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, please, I want you to ask in the comments. And if you found this video useful, you can subscribe and join our community so that you'll be the first to see whenever I upload such videos, and it will go a long way to encourage me. I have some videos, soap making videos already shot, and I'm going to upload them very soon. You don't want to miss them because this channel is about empowering you to take charge of your skin, your hair, your home care, and also to help you to start that small business you've been thinking of starting with information that is free but very, very valuable. Bye.